Welcome, dear listeners, to the Unknown Chronicles, where the veil between what is and what was is dangerously thin. Some say the past is behind us, that we can move forward untethered. But what if the past refuses to let go? What if you awaken to find yourself in a world that feels familiar yet wrong? A place where time stands still, or where the air hums with something unseen, where escape is just a distant illusion. Tonight we step into such a place, a town of perfect streets and smiling neighbors, a place that offers the promise of a new beginning, but at a terrible cost. A place where lost souls linger, trapped between what they were and what they will never become. Our next tale is called No Perfect Place. So listen closely, dear friends, and ask yourselves, if you found yourself there, would you even know it? Come, let's step into the darkness. We moved here for a sense of normalcy, a fresh start, a quiet life. It was the kind of place you see in a magazine, where everyone's lawn looks like a carpet, where the houses gleamed white in the sun, and the air smells of freshly cut grass. A place where, as a man, you can feel like you've made it, where your spouse could feel safe, where everything would fall into place. That's all we wanted. We had no idea what we were stepping into. The first morning I woke up here, it was like I was caught between dreams and reality. The sheets felt too soft, air too still. My eyes snapped open, and for a moment, I couldn't remember where I was. The sound of birds chirping outside was too perfect, like it had all been scripted. But I shrugged it off. Maybe it was the excitement of the move, the change. Clint was up already, moving around the kitchen, humming a tune I hadn't heard in years. His energy was infectious, and for a moment, I almost forgot the feeling that had been nagging at the back of my mind. We settled into the house quickly, unpacking boxes, painting the walls, setting things into their place. It all felt so easy, too easy. But it was everything I had dreamed of. Perfect little house in a perfect little suburb. And yet something gnawed at me. The first time I noticed it was when I went out to take a walk. The streets were pristine, like something out of a magazine spread. Every house was identical, glistening white with black shutters, the same shade of red on the front doors. The lawns were perfectly manicured, to the point I was sure no one had ever stepped foot on them. The people were strange too. At first it was subtle, just a quick glance or a nod of the head. But the more I looked, the more unnerving it became. They smiled too much, their eyes too wide, their greetings too mechanical. I brushed it off. I tried to. I really did. It was a small town after all. Maybe everyone was just friendly. Or maybe it was the stress of the move that was making me paranoid. So I focused on Clint. He was happy. Happier than I had seen him in years. I couldn't take that from him. But then the moments started to add up. Little things at first. The same couple would wave at me every morning, no matter where I was. whether I was out on the street or just in the garage. And when I came back from work that day, there was a man standing on my lawn, smiling at me like he knew me. He waved, but he didn't say anything. I didn't know him. I had never seen him before. Still, I tried to ignore it. Clint didn't seem to notice, or maybe he didn't care. Then a voice. It started slowly, just whispers at the edge of my consciousness. You can't stay here, it said, over and over, like a low hum in my brain. I thought it was just stress. It's always just stress, isn't it? Some lingering anxiety from the move. But the voice didn't stop. It grew louder, clearer, until one night I woke up to find myself staring at the ceiling, cold sweat dripping down my back, and the words repeating in my mind, "You can't stay here forever." I tried to tell Clint about it, but every time I brought it up, he would just shake his head. "It's nothing, Jason. You're just adjusting to everything." But he couldn't shake it either. I could see the worry in his eyes, the way he stared out the window, watching the neighbors in the distance. They were always there, watching us, watching him. But no one ever left. That's when I began to feel the creeping horror that something was horribly wrong. The air itself was wrong. Thick, stale, like I was breathing something that wasn't meant for me. My stomach would churn, and my head would ache. And every time I tried to leave the house, I would look out the window only to see the same people, smiling, staring, just a few steps away. Clint stopped asking questions. He was quieter now, more withdrawn. He'd say things like, "Do you think we made a mistake?" Or, "I can't shake the feeling we're being watched." And then one day, it all hit me like a truck, running me over with all of its weight. I was standing in the front of the mirror in the hallway, combing my hair, when it all came rushing back. How we ended up here. The truth. The horrible truth. I could see it all in my mind. The lies we told. The debts we tried to outrun. The people we hurt. The things I had done that could never be undone. We weren't in some picture-perfect suburb. We weren't even alive. I could hear Clint's voice calling me from downstairs, asking if I was coming. But I didn't answer. I couldn't. The realization that we were dead, that we were stuck in some kind of twisted purgatory had gripped me. And the worst part was, I couldn't remember how we died. Not fully. There were flashes. A car crash, maybe, but I couldn't make sense of it. I ran downstairs, panicked, but when I looked at Clint, his face was different. His eyes were wide and his lips trembled. "Jason," he whispered, "do you know how we got here?" I froze. I could feel my heartbeat pounding in my chest, the room spinning. He grabbed my arms, his fingers cold and clammy. "We're not supposed to be here, Jason. We're stuck, trapped. This place is a lie. We are a lie. The neighbors, Those people were standing outside the window now, staring in at us, watching us. And they were smiling the same perfect smile. It wasn't just that. It was the way their eyes were hollow, like they had been here far longer than we had. I wanted to scream, to run, but I couldn't. There was nowhere to go. The street outside the window seemed to stretch endless in both directions. No colors, no sound, nothing. Just smell of roses and decay. I turned to Clint. He was staring at me like he was seeing me for the first time. His face was pale, his eyes sunken. "What did we do, Jason?" he whispered. "What did we do to end up here?" Another memory slamming into me like a blade. We died. We died in that car accident all those months ago. And everything after was just the afterlife. The space between heaven and hell. A prison. A punishment for everything we had done. My sins, his sins, they had all caught up with us. And there was no escaping. This town, this house, these perfect smiling neighbors, it was all a facade. A waiting room for the damned. And as I looked out the window, watching the sunset over the identical houses, I realized the cruelest truth of all. We were stuck. Forever. Well, my friends, what do you think? Jason and Clint thought they had found it. The perfect life. A fresh start in a picture-perfect town. They believed they could escape the weight of their past, outrun consequences of their actions. But as we all know, there is no running from the truth. No matter how pristine the lawns, no matter how well kept the houses, the past always finds you. You see, they didn't just move to a perfect, quiet neighborhood. They stepped into something far older, far more insidious. A waiting room for the damned. A place that promises comfort, only delivers stagnation. No torment, no fire, just an eternity of existing without purpose, without escape. This is the first circle, dear listeners, the realm of those who will never ascend, but will never descend either, trapped in an endless, hollow existence. Jason and Clint, they are just the latest souls to find themselves ensnared in its quiet, smiling embrace. And they won't be the last. This has been Thorne Bloodrose, your guide through tonight's descent into darkness. I hope you'll join me next time as we discover yet another chilling tale from the depths of the Unknown Chronicles. Until then, keep your eyes open and your wits sharp, because the shadows, they always find those who aren't paying attention. And remember, when you think you've escaped your past, when you believe you've finally found peace, ask yourself, are you truly free? Or have you simply stepped into a prison with invisible walls? Good nightmares, and sleep tight, if you can.